Zimmerman.
Wingate.
What up, kid? How are you? I'd be clever back there. My boss says I'm a better hammer than a scalpel. You met him. Told him you were a driver. That's why you know my face. I was parked behind you.
Okay, please, let him go. He's got nothing to do with this.
You were driving his car.
He loaned it to me as a friend.
And when he helped you move a body?
Oh, fuck.
Oh, hey. Maybe I am clever. Because I wasn't sure there was a body in that duffel. Now I know. The strange thing is, a dealer of mine went missing not far from there. You're gonna tell me who you are, why you lied to my boss, or after I kill you, I'm gonna kill your friend. Yeah. I know what you're thinking. You're better than me, right? Yeah, because you're on the outside, because you got options. You just roll your eyes at me. What, you got a death wish? You think these gods gonna save you? I'm in here 40 years. You think I'm scared of a few weeks in the hole? 5 more in my sentence.
Step back, Kane. Now.
When?
When what?
When did these murders happen? From 2019 to 2021, I was living in St. Louis. I swear on my parents' grave, I had nothing to do with this. I'm not this. I'm not a killer. I swear. SUV's in the shop. Gave me the shitbox loaner.
Got it.
Now, I gotta ask. How'd someone like you end up with a band of misfits like us?
Started back in the day when I played touch football with the boys at recess.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Goes back that far.
Mm-hmm.
Touch footy.
You're not welcome here, priest. These lands are protected.
I got this. We're looking for a local girl kidnapped about 4 nights ago by a vamp pack. Came through this way.
Nobody comes through Nightshade. That's the way we like it. Nice. Quiet.
Look what you've done to them. They once ruled this land. They were warriors. They were gods. They were murderers. They were what nature made them to be. Just like you.
She's just a friend, Mark.
I wonder if she would still like you if she knew who you were.
Let's start that.
Wow. You really want to throw this all away?
What do you think this is, Mark?
I've given you everything. What am I? You could just use me?
Jump on the counter, let off a round. You wet yourself as you hit the ground. Take command with my outside voice. We're robbing this bitch, you ain't got no choice. Don't hit the alarm, don't beg for your mama. Fill up that bag, won't be no drama.
Shut it down.
Get on the floor, get on the floor. Move.
What the hell, yo? That was slamming.
3 armed cops and a rider makes 4. You're under arrest, so get on the floor.
We're gonna just jump into this today. I'm gonna because our wonderful guest here is here, my friend. Let's see, spotlight for me. Oh, I just spotlighted. The host has spotlighted your video. Look at my hair. It's a little spiky. It's a little bit spiky. Can you tell I've been drinking too much mango and juice and lemonade? Okay. I should have my own show. It's how to act like you're high when you're not. But you are. I'm high on life. Okay. Today, I tell you why I'm high on life, because today, welcome to Meet the Biz. We have an amazing, amazing man here today. I was thinking of the words to describe him, and there are, I could keep on going and going and going. I wrote a few here on my little cheat notes, which I make look like I don't have cheat notes, but here are the words that come to my mind when I think of this man: intense, sexy, powerful, subtle, explosive. He is an incredible artist, actor, creator. I'm going to throw out just a few of his amazing credits. Let the Right One In. And he is in today. He is the he is the right one. General Hospital, CSI, Sons of Anarchy, Inverse, World War Z, Lethal Weapon, Priest, Castle, Dexter, How I Met Your Mother, 24 Conspiracy. Okay, let's let him in. The one, the only, Mr. Josh Wingate.
Hello, David. You're so kind. So kind, I'm blushing.
Oh, I'm blushing too, Mr.
I'm
Wingate.
verklempt over here.
Are you verklempt?
I am.
Oh my God. So I forgot where did we meet? Do you remember?
We met when you were casting a show many moons ago. I will save the date because it's it'll age us desperately. And and you just look not a day over, I don't know, 27.
Thank you. Look, I am.
So we met casting a Christmas Carol many moons ago. I mean,
Christmas Carol. Was that it?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Well, that was a blessing. That was a blessing.
Yes, it was. It was a great cast, great show. It was life-changing for me. It was life-changing for me. So for people who are listening, David cast it was a mixed cast of very diverse, able-bodied, different abilities, different cultures, different races, different creeds, different sexualities, different everything. It was just this beautiful microcosm of what we all ought to be celebrating in this country and in this world of diversity and inclusiveness and inclusion. It was beautiful. I learned a lot about myself. I learned about other people. And I have become a great fan of David ever since.
Oh,
and his joy in his heart. I love it. Mm-hmm.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, I was a fan of yours when you walked in that door. I was like, first of all, you have this energy when you walk into the room. Mm-hmm. I mean, it's like, there's certain people that you just go, you don't even know, you just know that the energy in the room has changed, and you look over at the door and there is Mr. Wingate. It's like you have that kind of thing going on.
So a lot of people go running when that happens.
And I ran right toward it. especially when you did that audition. I mean, and that's the thing about your acting. I mean, you played, what did you have, one scene in that show?
Mm-hmm.
And it was, I have to say, one of my favorite scenes in that show, because you just, I mean, you had the levels. This man has levels. And how do you do that? Let's say we have all these students, and beyond students, we have professional actors here. How do you get those levels in a character?
I know it's a weird crush. There's nothing more than that I distaste the most is when actors talk about process. But I will.
Oh, shit.
I will. No. It's okay. It's okay. It's not you. I just find it to be absurd because mostly because I'm absurd and I don't actually have a process. But I do kind of know this, that if I allow myself to be all of me, which means I'm not shying away from the ugly parts, and I'm not shying away from, you know, the things that we normally try to hide as humans in the daily world, and even amongst friendships and relationships. If I do well at not hiding those things, whence is a word,
Yes.
whence I act, and I just give myself permission to be that vessel. And you know, the writing dictates, I would say 99.9% of it. The writing dictates it. And if you don't get in the way of the writing and you follow the writing and you allow that writing to trigger impulses, and then you do not thwart or stifle those impulses, then all those types of things just happen naturally without any doing per se.
I love that.
I don't know. I don't know if that's helpful. It might put a lot of acting teachers out of business if people keep doing that, but
No. Well, see, they need to change from acting teachers to allowing teachers. Allowing to be.
Yes.
I love that.
Allowing to be. So, yes, I don't know if that answered the question.
It was perfect. It was perfect. I've got to like spotlight some of these. Look at these photos of you. Chris has picked some photos out, and we'll have a few running here for a minute or two. But wow, you have these. I mean, look at everybody. Look at these photos that I've posted. I mean, there's so much going on. I mean, and the thing is, like you said, you were allowing to be. I think you allowed to be in your whole life. I think you're. I mean, completely. Yeah, just there. So when you're, you know, you get a photo of you, whenever it is, whenever the moment is, it's fully there. You're there 100% of the time.
I disagree, but okay.
Oh, okay.
I think, well, listen, it's a photo, so I get to, you know, that photo gets to get chosen. That's like one out of hundreds, you know. I just, but I appreciate the compliment you're trying to make. I think, you know, I'll be honest, I feel more free in acting and on stage, on set, in the moment after the word action, or on self-tapes, or in the room. I feel more free there than I do any other place in my life. So I think it is something. When I was young, I discovered, this is why I became an actor. I was in high schoolers, and do you mind if I tell a quick story?
Yo, tell.
Okay, so in my high school, it was a public high school in Massachusetts. The mentor of the program created a program called the Renaissance Program, which is a creative arts program. I had been a visual artist, you know, my whole life up until that point, just drawing, sculpting, painting, just very individual, for me, by me, for me. Rarely would it be shared. So part of this program is you got a major and a minor and two different minors. So my original major was visual art, and then every semester you would get two minors. So I did dance, music, and then I'll try this theater thing out. We'll see what this is all about. Let's see what all this silliness is. And I fell in love. I remembered the first monologue I had done. I mean, it was pacing all over the stage, all over the place, but it was so freeing because I was finally able to feel comfortable allowing myself to emote and let out all these things that were actually happening inside. And it was celebrated because it was through the guise of a character, and it was through the guise of a play or something else written. But really it was like, haha, what little do you know, this is all me coming out. So that's it became therapy, and I immediately switched my major as soon as I was allowed to, and the rest is history. Yes. Now
Wingate.
almost 31 years later, and I'm still doing this crazy thing of acting. Yes.
Well, thank God for us.
Well, thank God for you, indeed.
You know, all of it. I mean, well, getting to that, what is, of course, you are an actor, you are a beer, you are an allower. What through all that, what is your biggest dream?
Dream? You know, I often shy away from the subject because it gets misinterpreted, but I will say it here because I don't care anymore. I love you all, but I do not care what you think about me. I stole that quote from the great Michael Gervais. So this is not a completion dream. This is a part of the dream. But I have seen and always have seen myself getting that shiny gold, beautiful man Oscar. And it's not about the statue. It's not about the place I save for it on the mantle. It is and the glory that is of this beautiful little dust collector. It is that I set out to do something against all odds, against all nays and no's and rejections and impossibilities. And I am then doing work at the highest level with you know, people who are collaborating all on that level and going after that magic of storytelling on which is probably the highest form is probably filmmaking in this world that we live in now, just because look at how we're communicating now, screen. So and what better way to portray different stories, different experiences. And it can be a very healing realm. I don't know about you, but I've felt like I've changed watching certain films. I became a different person, or I got to go through something maybe I wasn't allowing myself to go through because a character was going through it. So if I could, I do want that. I do see myself with that shiny dust collector and with my little name inscribed on it that, you know, my kid will end up smashing someday, and I don't care. I do not care, you know, like that. I don't care about that, but it is that dream of making it to that level of magic makers, and be able to provide for my family, be able to, you know, change the direction of lives and help other people, and then go and make my own projects and films and lift people up. Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, and you're already lifting people up with your work, and I definitely, you know, I see that with you. You know, I'm going to come over and we're going to have, I don't know, some dinner at your house, some, you know, filet mignon, and I'm going to look over and I said, I remember when you said you wanted that dust collector, and look at the dust on it. It's like, it's right next to your other dust collector.
I will make sure that it will be dusty when you come too, because it has to be. I will not have it cleansed. I forgot about those things.
Right. Oh, it's like, yeah, I just thought of, my mind is like so open today. I just thought of going on eBay and buying, you know, you can buy pre-made dust. We don't have enough of it. What is your memory of the first time you acted?
Well, I kind of alluded to it. The first time I ever acted was, I did an audition. It was a monologue. I don't even remember what it was from, but it felt like walking up to the edge of a cliff and having no idea what was below, and closing my eyes and just diving off of it, and and then whilst in this midair free fall going "Wah," and purging, and felt very very freeing and scary and exciting and nerve-wracking, and all at once. And
yeah,
I fell in love. Yeah.
Do you feel like you live your life that way?
No, I don't. I practice it. I play music, and I go to, you know, I had some shows before the pandemic, and now I'm just looking for somebody to help me get more shows. Anybody out there?
Anyone out there? Music shows.
Yes, I want to play. I have a band, and I also have solo stuff, so I would like to be doing gigs. That being said, I go to open mics and I practice getting up in front of people, and music does that for me. Music is very similar in that realm, and at first it was the much more challenging because there is no guys. This is me. This is me. This is my song. I wrote this. This is my voice. This is my story. So it's much more vulnerable, but it still gives me that type of feeling. So I try to in other ways in my relationships. I try to be more and more genuine and more authentic, and I tell my friends that I love them, and I mean it.
Yeah, and that comes across. And and the thing is too, you said in your relationships, I mean, even in your work, you seem authentic. Whatever role you're playing, you're authentic to that role.
I try. Yeah, I try.
Yeah.
More and more, and the camera knows BS, and everybody else knows BS. I don't care who you watch and stuff. You're like, So I'd rather be boring and authentic than interesting and inauthentic. So that's
well, that's I don't think that's in your that word boring is in your life vocabulary. Your living vocabulary. So we got the first time. What was the last time that you acted? What was a memory of the last time you acted?
Well, I just did a self-tape recently, right before the writer's strike, that I'm extremely proud of. And it was I hit the marker of being wild and free. And again, I have to compliment the writing. The writing was just absolutely stunningly beautiful, and it just gave you, it didn't matter what you did because the writing is so good, and plus the character is a bit of a all over the place, and you're a philosopher and quoting people, and just didn't know if he was going to kill you or give you sweet love, and it was humor, yet watch out. I don't know if I want to turn my back on this guy. And it was just I don't know, I just loved that. I just loved how free I was, because I was going, now this moment, now this moment, now this moment. And it's probably my favorite tape. It was my agent's favorite tape. So the fact that the experience, my favorite tape, my agent's favorite tape, it was directly requested by casting. So it was like all of these, yes, I did my best work while being seen by some major players in the world. So I didn't get the role that I know of. It could have been on strike, but it could be because of the strike, but I was never contacted. So that doesn't matter. That result often does not equate to merit. It's not a merit-based business.
Exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly. I did an audition once, and a year later they called me. And I got a call back a year later.
Yeah. I got a job, I think 2 or 3 years later off of something one time.
Wow. 2 or 3 years. Well, there you go.
Yeah. So it as my old manager said, who I still love, she said, you never know what's happening behind closed doors. So if you go in, you swing the bat, you crack a home run, and the crowd doesn't cheer, you don't get the award, you don't get the credit, it doesn't mean you're not going to get something else. And it's man, is it hard, because I've had a few auditions these last few years where I'm like, you don't get better than this. And it's not about ego. I'm not trying to float and say how great I am, because I know I've seen amazing talent. I know there's amazing talent out there, and I'm competing with them. So, but oftentimes you can be the best, the absolute most amazing. This guy is out of this world, but we're looking for this time. So it doesn't,
But they have you in mind for other things.
We don't know. It's all speculation, but I do believe that continue to do that type of work, feeling good in the work, is going to lead to more.
But, I mean, what is something you haven't done that you'd like to do?
I would like to spend some time in a character, other than I've spent, I did a professional play, which that was like 50 something shows. So that was a long time to be in a character, but that's like doing the same bit over and over again. I would like to spend some time in a role, like a regular on a spread, I would prefer something like a cable or, a serial where there's something, there's a journey we're going on, not necessarily procedurals, although that could be interesting as long if the procedural is still pushing these storylines further. Like I know some of these shows do. I know like the Chicago PD, FD, and MD. I did an episode last year. I know those characters they're having serial journeys, not like the old school, every time, it's the same thing. You're just saying the same words to a different character. But yeah, I'm pontificating on blah, blah, blah. But yes, I would like to spend some time in a role on a series where we're going somewhere. We're experiencing the human experience and all the elements of that, something like a Bloodline. I really loved Bloodline with Ben, oh my goodness,
I'm blanking too.
Ben, Australian actor. He's just
Yeah.
Oh my God, talk about freedom on camera. Holy cow.
Oh my God, now I'm gonna go see that. I'm gonna check that out.
Yeah. The last season was a bit wonky, but still, nonetheless, it was interesting. But anyways, yes.
I could see you in that. I mean, I was thinking of one show too, and I can't think of it right now. My brother watches that. I guess it's the last season of it, but he's really a bad guy, but he's not a bad guy. He has so many levels to him. And I could see you in that lead role, that you have such a history. You can have a dark past, but light in it. And then you could play the bad guy who's a good guy. And, that's very generic, but
no, but it's not though, because I was kind of a little bit pigeonholed getting the bad guy of the week a lot. And the last two roles that I did professionally, what I really loved about it is I felt like there's a slight evolution, because the last role was actually Chicago PD, and I played the main suspect in a serial killing case. And meanwhile, I'm a good family guy, but I'm rough around the edges. I own my own construction business, and turns out I wasn't the guy. So it was like, oh, he could be, all the fingers point to this guy being the guy, but he's not. He's actually a good guy. And then Let the Right One In, I played a recurring on there. He's a ex-special forces guy. He's, you could argue that what he's doing now is a bit nefarious, but you could get behind the reason. And again, writing is gold. Writing is king. The way they wrote every character on the show, even our lead, he does some terrible, terrible things, but he does it for his daughter. And you're like, okay, I would too. It really, you get behind that. It's like, the Breaking Bad, the anti-hero. Breaking Bad, you could argue, okay, he melted a kid in a can of chemicals. That, all right, I can't really get behind him anymore. But, with the father and Let the Right One In,
right.
The father and Let the Right One In, he has to kill for his daughter. It's like, okay, so is he the good guy or is he the bad guy?
Breaking Bad, Tom.
I love it. Heisenberg. I love it. And it's blue.
I had to get
like
that since you said that.
Yeah, and he's blue, just like the crystal meth.
Exactly, because he is the crystal meth.
Yeah. David's favorite morning.
Right, that's right. I love the color blue.
Mango. No wonder those eyes just bulge out your head.
Close to the microphone. Oh my God. I have so many questions to ask you. I know that we have some other fellow actors who want to too, but I wanted to ask you before I jump into them and then come back and continue with the roller coaster ride of life. What is your biggest joy in the roller coaster ride of life?
My daughter. Oh my God. So yeah, I have a baby girl, Kaya. She's going to be 2 in July. Yeah. I mean, if you've, and then you hear this from everyone who becomes a parent, and I roll my eyes at it because I heard it from everyone and like, oh, there's nothing like it. And I'm like, yeah, no, there's nothing like it. It's something that can only be experienced. And yeah, it breaks my heart every single day and builds me back up every single day. It's just, the joy and like the overwhelming joy that I get from just witnessing this little being. It's mind-boggling. It's not computable in the brain. It's only computable in the heart, and it's indescribable with the mouth. So but yeah, the long and short of it, my daughter, period. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I gotta meet her someday.
Yes, she is something. I mean, she should be starring in stuff now, and she's not even 2 years old. I mean, she's not supporting. This girl doesn't do supporting. This girl is straight to the lead. Boom.
Boom.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we have a beautiful woman, beautiful woman here who I've known for 25 years. Wonderful actress, Shannon Dierix. Shannon Dierix is here.
Hey, I do have a question for you.
Yeah.
What is it like to be on the Castle, the TV show?
that show was fantastic. I got to play a rapper on that show, which was so much fun. Me and the guy who played my brother, we got to go to the studio and record a whole rap. It's on YouTube somewhere. You can get the whole rap. It's called Get on the Floor. So the keywords are Get on the Floor, Castle, episode 314. Send that out, David. It is so fun. And I just had a blast on that show. That was a show. And I know Nathan Fillion pretty well, and just a really awesome guy to work with, really great to his guest cast. And yeah, it was one of my favorite roles I've ever done. So I appreciate that question.
Thank you.
Thank you, Shannon. I love it. I love it. I mean, you've done so many, and I was thinking there was one, thoughts and questions come to the mind, and then I go somewhere else because we're going on a different ride. Something else takes me somewhere. But you were talking about a show that goes on for many episodes, and you did one on General Hospital.
Yes.
For what was it, 11 episodes or?
I give or take. I feel like I did more, but yes, we'll go with that. I think that's what I'm credited as. But yes.
How was that experience for you? I mean, that was a intense character with levels.
Yeah, that was fun. That was fun. General Hospital was a blast. I absolutely loved my time on GH. That was just the crew, everybody, cast, crew, directors, writers. It felt like a family. I felt like I entered in a magical time of their journey. And I really just was brought in with open arms. It was wonderful. And I think originally it was like slated for 3 to 5 episodes, and it ended up being a longer journey. And yeah, I really, really loved that. That was a fun role because it was actually the first time in daytime history that they tackled this. I don't know if that's the right word, or they approached the subject of man-on-man sexual violence and sexual assault. So I was part of television history in portraying that. So it was cool to be a part. It's cool to be a part of that and part of bringing that to light, and hopefully, because it is it's a taboo subject in the sense that the discrepancy between, and not to get too deep into this, but it is more commonly discussed and commonly accepted that to just the discussion of sexual assault on women, but not so much on men. It's not as commonly says, it's like it's emasculating, or I don't know, it's not as safe. So hoping that when this is what we were talking about earlier about lifting people up in stories, just because we portray a really harsh subject or a harsh category in humanity and the darker side of humanity, that by doing so, hopefully it could help other people heal or come forward or have the courage to then come out of a situation where maybe they didn't feel safe in doing so before because they were able to experience it through TV. So yeah. So
wow. Yeah. What about you were talking about humanity, but like let the right one in is what's the definition of that?
Well, it's a 100% that show is about humanity and what you would do and what you wouldn't do for your child. That's what that show is about. It does have the element of vampires, and it's a really, really cool. It was based off of a Swedish novel film, and then there was an American film as well.
I saw the original. I loved it.
Yeah, it's really beautiful because it's really a love story. It's really a love story about these two kids, and not in an inappropriate way, but in just this. And what I loved about it, it's unique in the vampire world. You would think no one could make that world unique anymore. The story's been told for hundreds of years and then retold and then retold. What I loved about this story, this one, is it brings the vampirism into reality. It's like, because vampires didn't exist and now they're like, what's going on? And the element is it's these kids that are vampires and trying to find this cure and what you would do for your family. And the evil you would do for trying to do something right for one person. It's pretty profound. And I would say that show is very much about humanity and very much about questioning your own morals. And it's fun. And you get to see a little girl vampire do some crazy awesome stuff. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, and just like literally tear the head off of somebody.
Okay, I'm gonna binge watch that now after our interview. I see that Alan Davis is here, and he's been throwing out some wonderful questions, so I'm gonna bring on Alan Davis.
All right, let me just read it here. You mentioned writing being what really drives you, correct?
Yes.
Yes,
go ahead. Sorry.
You must hate improv, right?
No.
No. What do you do when there's no writing?
Improv.
That's your old circular definition, right?
Well, I haven't done I have improv, and I think I've actually done it on. I was shocked. I went on a CSI, and the show had been on for 20 years at that point, and I admittedly went in with a preconceived notion, like, okay, this is just a factory now. This is just a machine. They pump these things out for 20 years. Let me just go in, be prepared, do my work. And I worked with one of the leads who'd been on from the beginning of the show. So I'm, again, preconceived notion. He's just going to come in. We're just going to say the words and be done with it.
Yeah.
And he sat down and goes, how about we start like this? Say something like this. Say something like this. And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, say something like this.
Anything, you mean, right?
And we just started improving the top of the scene. Now it's based off of the writing. It's based off the characters. We weren't pulling stuff out of left field.
But the director had you improving.
Well, actually, the lead.
Oh, the lead did.
The lead did, but when he's been on for 20 years, I think he's got some pull. And I don't think he was directed, but we improved a little bit. And but I haven't done a lot of improv, but I do like it. I do find it fun. I like dramatic improv. Actually, I just did a film. I'll tell you what, I did a film. It's going to be released soon. It's called A Good Enough Day, with my friend Trevor St. John as the lead. And it was mostly scripted. Mostly scripted. There were some elements that were withheld that we didn't know was going to happen, and they were introduced in the scene. So that's improv too. But I could argue that it was mostly written. It was like 90-something percent, 80-something percent written. So the improv is still coming from the writing. Yeah, but it's a great question. I mean, I do there's
Can I stick in a related question?
Of course.
What sometimes directors or producers really decide that to withhold the details of the show. They just give you the script and the part. Have you ever had to deal with that? All the time. Yeah. So I just try and go off my own impulses and could be completely wrong. There's an intellectual property you know,
Yeah.
concerns.
Yeah. It's a lot of it. Yeah. So,
Mhm.
you know, oftentimes you get sides for an audition that isn't from the show or from the film. They're just made up for the audition. So,
Oh,
you know, they're looking for an essence. They're looking for an essence and an idea. So I just try not to think about what they're looking for and give them what I have and what I am. And if I'm the guy, I'm the guy. I like what Bryan Cranston said. If it's not my wallet, I want the guy to have his wallet. You know, if it's my wallet, it's my wallet. But if I find a wallet, it's not mine. I want to find it. And give it
finders,
to the guy.
keepers, including driver's license.
Yeah.
All right.
Well, thank you, Alan.
Thanks, Alan.
Yeah. Just taking it all in. I'm going to throw out a name, see what comes to your mind. Brad Pitt.
I like Brad Pitt a lot. He's so cool.
And you
I had a poster of Brad Pitt in my college dorm room.
Really?
Which was really confusing for a few of the boys. Because you know, whatever, we won't go too far in that direction. But it was
I had the Karate Kid in mine.
Well, you know,
but that's when I was in high school.
Yeah, I love Karate Kid too. But Brad Pitt, circa Legends of the Fall.
Yeah.
I mean, I just found him to be like the stud of all studs, and I really liked what he was doing as an actor. I liked how he would go from a leading man to this character to like California spelled with a K with Julia Lewis. And, yeah. It's just this really, it was like this crazy kind of character. So yeah, I was and still am a huge fan. Then I got to meet him and work with him on World War Z, and it was just like, you know, just meeting this magnetic persona, because that's what he is. I mean, we were in there's about 400 extras inside this ship, and you know, when we're in between shots, what does 400 people sound like? It's like there's a noise to 400 people.
Yeah.
And then he would enter in a vacuum, and I just would watch in awe. I'm like, what is that like? To enter a room and not a single, just a vacuum of air gets sucked out and everybody's watching you. And in my short but sweet interactions with him, he was very cool, down to earth, seemed like the type of guy that would like to go out and smoke a joint and have a beer with you at the pub, you know. And
what I love though too is that here you had a poster of Brad Pitt growing up, and then you manifested it in a way by being in a film with him.
Yeah, it was pretty overwhelming. It was but cool. It was really cool. Yeah, I remember like the first day I met him, we were in this little scene. I introduced myself, and real quick, you know, we were just doing setups, and then the way Mark Forster shoots is really interesting. He shoots super wides.
Yeah.
And then we move to another place, shoot super wides. The next day he comes back, he goes mediums. Then we leave, and the next day you come back, you do close-ups. It's a really crazy way of filmmaking. Not crazy as I'm judging in a negative way. It's just something I've never experienced before. So we got to like kind of redo. So by the end of all that, he's capturing footage, but he's acting like it's rehearsal as well. So it kind of becomes more and more solid. So by the second or third day, we were doing this one scene. And like I said, I just met Brad real quickly. And he goes, "Oh, am I going to look over Josh's right or left shoulder?" And I was like, "Oh, he said my name." Oh, I was like that. I was like, ah. But yeah, I was cool. I was playing a Marine, you know. I was like, I got to keep it together. But inside, I was like, ah.
Love that. Oh my God! Hey, we have a friend of the family here, Mr. Luke Zimmerman.
Hey, Osman, Kate.
Hey.
What are your favorite monsters ever? Vampires, zombies, werewolf. What's your favorite monster ever?
Ooh. You know, I think my favorite and scariest are the ones you never see. The imagination. So some of those haunting movies that you never really see, or you'll get a glimpse. I forget which one it was, but there was this one that just, I get chills. It was like this person was looking and all of a sudden these hands went right behind it. It was a ghost hand. I was like, So yeah, Ghost, the unseen is always scarier to me. Those monsters, those hauntings. Yeah.
But my favorite scary movie ever by Bram Stoker, Count Dracula.
Oh, yeah.
And that's one creepy movie ever.
Oh,
And
yeah.
I find out about you a lot because I heard you did a movie with Brad Pitt in World War C. What do you play? A zombie or you just yourself?
No, I'm playing a U.S. Marine on this one. One bridge. It's actually, unfortunately, most of the stuff got cut out because they did a rewrite on the film halfway through, and they stopped filming and did a rewrite. So a lot of my stuff is gone just because of the story got changed. So such it is.
Yeah.
I'll just have to remake a film with Brad Pitt. So I'm not going to complain.
It's the first Brad Pitt movie you're in, and the next one you're like our best buddies or brothers.
I hope so. Or I wouldn't mind being enemies, or
or well, you could be all of the above.
Or lovers, whatever.
That's what the movie with Brad Pitt did when he's very younger, called Interview with a Vampire.
Oh, one of my favorites. One of my favorite.
Yeah, that's a good movie to watch.
Yeah, I love that movie a lot. That was fantastic.
Oh my God, he's the best vampire ever. Than Tom Cruise.
Thank you, Luke.
Thank you, Luke.
Yeah, manifestation.
I used to dream about being a vampire because of that movie, Interview with the Vampire.
Really?
I love that movie so much. I used to have dreams I was a vampire. It was awesome. It was really cool. I could move super fast. I could see at night. It was really great. I could fly. It was amazing.
You can fly. Well, one of the things that you do are stunts, and you are a stunt coordinator as well, right?
Well, you could. I have a credit as being.
I have a credit for it
as being one, but no, I've been a martial artist for 30. Martial arts and acting kind of started around the same time, so about 30-something years, 31 years. So I used to do a lot of my own fight work, and I have helped a buddy who did a film with some stunt work and coordinated it for him. But yes, I don't know if I could, with 100% confidence say, yes, I'm a stunt man and a stunt coordinator, but no, I do have a credit. But
now with you said what is it? Not stunts, but you do martial artists.
Yes.
And we have a wonderful performer actor who also does martial arts, BJ Smith. BJ, are you okay on coming in and connecting?
Yes, I'm good.
Yeah, BJ does. He loves martial art. What do you do, BJ?
I've done a few, and I'm doing. I've done capoeira, Muay Thai, boxing, and now I'm doing Kaji Kempo.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, my first system ever was a Kempo system, and then I spent 3 years in capoeira. I did. Most recently, I was just training at a MMA gym, with mostly like Dutch kickboxing, which is Muay Thai blended with Kyokushin karate. So it's
it's hard to try to mix them all together. Like we learn like Muay Thai and boxing and karate and Chinese boxing. It's hard to try to mix them all together.
That's why I like Bruce Lee's philosophy: take what works for you and then throw away the rest.
Right, exactly.
That's it. Well, we should train one day. We should train.
I wish that would be great. I really love that.
Yeah, that'd be awesome.
I think the energy, the two of you, would be great. I think that, man. Thank you, BJ, for jumping on. I want to read something too that I read here. This is I believe on your IMDb. A skilled and talented martial arts expert, Wingate, is privileged to teach and mentor youth from his unique personal experiences of self-growth with the principle of vulnerability is strength. He empowers students and mentees to go beyond their perceived potentials and limiting beliefs, discovering abilities, confidence, and perseverance they never knew they had. Is this the way you live, I think?
I try. I try. I think as you know, life is, and the Buddhists say, life is suffering. So, okay, if we can come to terms with accepting of that, then what's the remedy? How then shall we live? If all of our time here is limited and on this plane of existence that we are experiencing right now, then what do we want to do with it? How do we want to do it? More importantly, how do we want to do it? There's certain elements of society and stuff. I live under a roof. This doesn't come for free. That has to be paid for. Well, okay, what do I use to pay for it? Well, I got to go get that thing and go do. So there's elements to life and have-tos that I don't necessarily like. I don't like real jobs, but sometimes we have to do it. Sometimes we have to make sacrifices from, I'd like to pick up my guitar and play music all day. And, maybe one day that'll pay me some money. But at the end of the day, I'm losing the subject here, but how we do what we do, and memento mori means remember you will die, so therefore memento vivere, remember to live. And when I work with kids and I have some young adults, I try to give them mostly what I did not have. I did not have that guidance. I didn't have a father figure. I didn't have a positive masculinity role model. I think, and my definition of masculinity is not probably the term that most people think of, like imagine. No, my definition of true masculinity is one of, and as that IMDb page blurb says, is vulnerability is strength. If you look up vulnerability, it means you're susceptible. A loose translation, you're susceptible to attack. So if you're willingly vulnerable, you are willingly open to attack. You are revealing your soft parts, your inside. So metaphorically and in fighting, you're most vulnerable when you're attacking, because here I'm protected. But so if I attack, I'm now vulnerable. So to attack is to be vulnerable, to open oneself up to criticism, to open oneself up to sharing the truth of themselves, whether or not they're afraid of that, or whether they're afraid of judgment, afraid of others. That is courage, because courage does not exist without fear.
If I were king of the forest, you say courage, and I think of that.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And no, that's a perfect example. Look how much fear he had. Yeah. Look how much fear that character had. And then he had to confront that fear, and he got his courage back. He found his courage, because, courage does not exist without fear. So, I try my best to help people in that realm the best I can, and I worked with a lot of kids that were, deemed on the spectrum, or, with other different abilities. And
I'm
really proud of where a lot of those kids where they are now. I have two twin boys, not my boys, but two twin boys that I worked with from a young age. They're both on the varsity UCLA rowing team. They're just these specimens of young men. They stand like 6'7" now. They're like over here. They're just these amazing genius kids. And I used to throw them out of my class as a kid, because when they were kids, because they were disruptive and wild and all over the place, spitting and doing that. By the end of their journey, they could have taught my classes, and I could have sat there and watched. I
love that.
So commend their mom and their parents for going through that, because a lot of people don't like to go through the hard stuff.
Yeah.
The hard stuff we shy away from, but that's where growth comes. There ain't no lotus if there ain't no muck.
Oh, a book. You're gonna write a book. How are you doing on time? Do you have? I know we're almost time. Do you have maybe 10 minutes over? Or
Yeah, oh, we're good.
Okay. Just because I want to. There are so many people, and I know we're not going to be able to get everybody in, but I want to try to get as many people, especially the ones who sent it in. But we do have a wonderful actor here who has done several. In fact, he worked with. Oh my God, so many people. I'm Mr. Isaac Leva. Isaac Leva. Hey, what films you worked with the Bryan Cranston, right?
Wakefield.
In Wakefield.
Oh, cool.
The movie. And what was the other film you did?
Any Day Now.
Any Day Now. Very cool.
Very cool.
So you have a question for Mr. Josh Wingate.
Advice.
Yes.
Hey. How I need advice how to be in television.
How to be in television. Good Lord, that's a good question. You know, I mean, obviously, so you've already done some films, which is awesome. So you've broken the barrier, you've gotten credits. So I just hopefully, do you have representation? Yes. Do you have agent, manager?
Yes.
Yes. So, I mean, I don't know the secret sauce answer of how you get the roles, but other than by being your authentic self, but really just pushing, not pushing necessarily in a hard way, but just talking to your reps and saying that your goal and what you really want to do, you want to be doing some TV, you want to do some roles in TV and make sure they're looking for those types of things for you. Other than that, I wish I had the answer because I would probably be working right now. Yeah.
But you're being right now. Oh, and you know what you just said too was so good, Josh, for Isaac.
Thank you.
Yes, Isaac, and thank you, Isaac. Writing to your or writing what you want to be on. If there's a certain show that you say, this is a show I want to be in, or something like this, you know, whether it's, I'm going back, Friends, let's say I wanted to be on Friends, and then tell your agency said, hey, really focus on that. And then as well, I guess they don't do postcards anymore, do they?
I don't know. I think everything's email.
Everything's email now, which is like can get lost.
Yeah.
But that just sparked something in me about doing that, going out there and saying what you want.
Yeah. The universe responds, my friends.
Okay, we have three more questions here from others. I do want to be sure. Okay, I have that and this and that. Okay, let's go to the people who sent in. We do have Ranjani Reyes. There she is.
Hey. Okay. Right here. Here's my question.
Yes.
What is your favorite stunt? Do you get hurt from that stunt?
Let's see, the first, yes, I got hired on this one show called Moonlight that lasted a season, and I did my own fighting, and the lead actor did not have that much fighting experience, so they don't know how to go soft and loose and make it look hard. And yeah, I had whiplash for like 2 weeks after that gig, and during a rehearsal, a camera rehearsal. So for example, if the camera was across the street and the lead actor was here, perspective wise facing me, and he does an elbow and I snap my head back, well, so I could do this, boom, and make it look like, and he could be that far away and it wouldn't matter.
It's stage acting.
Yes, and it's just
like
where the camera is, it looks like I'm getting hit, but I'm not. It's so far away. But during the take, he boom elbowed me right in the face, right here. Was like,
oh no! And you really did have a whiplash.
Oh yeah, and well, that wasn't when I had like if it was right there, I probably would have had a smashed nose, but I got my bell rung, and then the fight continues, and he slams me against the car, and then he climbs up. He's a vampire. I don't know. I attract vampires, I guess. Gets up on top of me, and it was just a lot of like this type of whipping, and yeah, it was gnarly. And but it's for the act.
For the act.
Yeah,
Good question, Ranjani. Good, thank you for that.
The reason why I like stuntmen now.
Oh, there you go. Let them do it. Let them
Yes.
get a little whiplash. Not me.
I get compliments from my fight and let the right one in, and I'm like,
thank you.
that was only this much of me. But the big stuff was this other guy, and he did a great job. So thank you, stunt guys.
Oh my God, I know, right?
Mhm.
Yeah. Lovely, lovely. Okay. Mwah. Let's see. The next one we had who wrote in was Zuli Johnson. Zuli Johnson, there she is.
Hello, good morning.
Hi.
I enjoy your acting because I see the other side on your script, and when you respond to the other actors and she walk away, I thought that was the best part. My question for that scene in the other side, what made you want to act being a inmate?
Being an inmate. Well,
I thought you were good.
Thank you. I don't think it's, for me, it's not like a desire of the descriptor of the role per se, where I'm trying, like, I want to be an inmate. The who I am and what I look like. I mean, I have bald head, beard, bigger guy, lends itself, especially in Hollywood, being a white guy with a bald head lends itself to being a bad guy. Or perceived bad guy. So I've found my way in that world, but I try not to shy away from things like that, and try not to judge the character, because we're all human. We all have our human experience, and there's been times in my life, many different paths I could have taken, and if I went a certain way one time, I might have actually been an inmate. So,
right. In a past life, who knows?
Yes, but we don't know. So I think, I try not to shy away from judging. I do shy away from judging the character. I try not to shy away from things that might be scary or deemed bad, and bring light to that humanity, because it's still human, whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not. Good. And thank you, Zuli. Thank you. We have one last person here who we have. Let's see. I know he says, can you please get me in? Can you please get me in? And there he is, Mr. T-Bone. T-Bone.
Hi. I got a question for you. When you do your music, what do you like the most? Acting or music? Because I do music. So what do you like the most, music or acting?
Well, that's a tough question, because I mean, right now I'm doing a lot with music right now, especially with the writer's strike and with the acting strike probably going to happen. I just find myself spending some energy there. I find it to be very therapeutic for me, the music and playing and writing. So I don't know if I try not to. I used to compare them a lot, and I try not to compare them much anymore. They're just different aspects of who I am as an artist. But right now, the answer is music has my heart. But it's not a if, It's a right now.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you ask me, I might be like, oh, I'm so obsessed with this role right now. I don't know. So it's just, yeah, but it's a good question.
I love it.
We can be multiple beings, and
It's true. Thank you, T-Bone. So what is next for you?
I'm going to release my first solo song June 13th. My birthday is June 13th. I'm releasing a song on my birthday. I am with a video that I'm currently editing. I shot and I didn't shoot. I had a DP, but I directed my first short film that is in post. I am really proud of it. It's pretty wild. It's pretty wild. It's a little heady.
Yeah.
As am I. So I'm excited about that. It's also going to double as a music video because I'm putting the whole music behind it is another one of my songs. So I'm combining my art forms all together.
Oh, I love this.
So, and then so that's happening. I'll be releasing music, and I am acting wise, I don't really know right now. I think that's everything's up in the air professionally right now. So I have some plays I've written. I want to do a rewrite on ones that I might start workshopping with a buddy of mine, and which I love. Thematically, I get really into men's mental health and that subject of masculinity and vulnerability a lot. So that play is called Boxed in Blue. It's two boxers, older, aged, probably way past their prime boxers that kind of come together in this. And the cosmos of how it caused them to collide in a battle, but also there's more to it than that. So I'm finishing the rewrite on that. And then I'm getting married on July 1st. If she's still going to marry me after all this, I won't.
Oh, I'm sure she will.
Yeah. But
you're like,
so that's exciting. That's exciting. So and stressful and all the things I said last night mistakenly, oh, I just can't wait for this wedding to be over, and that was totally misinterpreted. But what I meant was all the planning and the stressing. I really can't wait to do that. How did I meet her? I met her teaching kids martial arts many years ago. She was one of the managers of the school, and she works with kids. She actually has a great program. I'm going to pitch her program. It's called Girls Empowerment Experience. girlsempowermentexperience.com. She is amazing. She runs her own business. She works with young girls and women on confidence, connection, communication. She uses mindfulness, meditation, journaling, movement, self-defense, and she's like your best friend and therapist without all the red tape and boundaries of therapy. Not that there's anything wrong with therapy. I have been saved by therapy, but I am saying she is just she does deal with people with autism and people on the spectrum. She's actually, I would say, extremely talented is not the right word. If it maybe talented is the right word, but she does work with people with autism and on the spectrum very well. And those two boys that I talked about earlier, I actually don't know if they're on the spectrum, and I alluded that they may be, so I'm sorry if I offended, but they were, but I've worked with other kids too, and Mari does, my wife to be, does all the time, and yeah, she's a gift.
Listen, I feel,
to me, but to the world. Yes.
Yeah, no, I think we all have our wonderful issues, and not even issues. They're part of us, you know. So I think we're all on different levels and this and that, and we all come together, and that's what's so wonderful about you.
You are the bringer of that, David. That is your role in life. I'm pointing my finger aggressively into the camera at you. You are one of those people. You are a connector, a bringer together, a geller, a molder. And you've how I met you, and you've never stopped doing it, and you continue to do it. And I wish I could squeeze you right now and give you a big wet one.
Josh Wingate, thank you so much. I love
Thank you.
this. And I
I
can't,
love you.
yeah, I love you. And I can't wait to come over and meet your new wife and
Yes.
your wonderful daughter and have either filet mignon or some nice, wonderful salad, and see the dust on your gold statue.
I can't wait for that. But before I get that statue, let's not wait that long. It could be next year, but let's not wait that long either.
Okay.
So let's break bread. We could celebrate Shabbat. We could do it all. We could. Oh no, what is it? I wasn't raised Jewish, but my wife is to be as Jewish, and it's my favorite Jewish tradition that I've only experienced once.
Passover?
I love Passover too. I read it in an Irish accent and everyone loves it. But is it Havdalah, the thing on Saturday?
Oh,
with the
yes.
smelling and the scents and the light? That thing is the best I've ever done. Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I love it. So I think it's called Havdalah. Is that?
Yeah, and I haven't done it in so long, but you like brought me right back.
Yeah.
And I could sense it, the smells, the heat from the candle,
Yes, it's about the senses. It's amazing. Yeah, I love it.
Hey, any last thoughts about anything?
I need some serious. No, I'm just kidding.
How about some mango juice?
My Venmo is no. If I could leave any message, and it took me so long, and I still have to learn it on the daily, is to be in communion with yourself, and only you know who yourself is. Only you know that little voice, that little whisper that tells you that thing. And oftentimes we get these louder voices. I'm a Gemini. I have loud voices, multiple of them. But if I can get to that little voice and just follow that and just do the little things that aid in that voice, I think that if I could leave anybody with any messages, that follow that voice, follow their own little path, because absolutely no one is going to do it for you. And if we're afraid of being judged and feared, guess what? So are they. So everyone else is thinking about themselves. Plus, that's why I love that Michael Gervais quote. I love you, but I don't give a what you think about me. It's helpful. It's helpful because a great fear is abandonment and being, kicked out the tribe. It's an old fear we've had for a long time in our development. So yeah, be brave, do you. Get in the spotlight and shine your light that is unique. No one else has your light.